What's up, Denver Digs? We're in Wheat Ridge today. My boy Jeff is inside with JP Timberworks. He's about to rock your mind. Let's go see him. Peace. What's up, Denver Digs? I'm here today with my boy Jeff Fegley, JP Timberworks, and I got my Thor hammer for you here. Jeff, thanks, dude, for having us. We've gotten to check out your workshop. We're in your little studio here. Man, you've got such a great story, like from artistry to art installs to painting, trading paintings with other artists, and now custom Timberworks. Dude, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're launching this amazing business, transitioning into this full time. Tell our viewers a little bit about conceptually what you do and why you do it.
So I've had kind of a dream to have a furniture business for quite a long time. I got into it about 25 years ago.
Okay.
I started working in wood and just being a maker, which is kind of what I consider myself to be, more or less. But yeah, the woodworking, I just started building up tools over the years, and the complexity of the joinery, I started getting more and more attracted to that.
Okay.
How things come together. A lot of it's the problem-solving puzzle, putting a piece of furniture together, and also trying to hide that joinery so that you don't see maybe how it's put together. I've always been fascinated by that. And there are lots of artists out there doing really cool things, a lot of woodworkers doing really cool things. So I feel like my influences have come from the art background as well as from the woodworking as well, and trying to fuse all that together and create something really unique.
Yeah, what a logical transition, right? To go from creating something from scratch in an art form, painting to start, it sounds like, right? In school and things of that nature, but then transitioning to this creation with a totally different medium. You know, one of the things that I notice intently is just the attention to detail. Can you give our viewers a little bit of an idea of what your vision is when you're creating pieces like that, and what they should expect from a detail perspective should they decide to work with you on a piece or something that you have in inventory?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it all starts with drawings. A lot of it's just pencil sketches. That then transitions into a digital drawing. I use SketchUp for that.
Nice.
A lot of it is you find a piece of wood and you're like, I want to do something with that. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. Kind of let it talk to you. Sometimes I keep a piece of wood around for 6 months. I'm not sure what to do with it. And then you start to formulate these ideas of, wow, that could be a coffee table or an end table, or maybe it turns into a sculptural piece. It's not necessarily functional in the way of daily use, but maybe it's just something nice that you can put on to another piece of furniture. When working with clients, though, it's really like them coming to me with a very specific problem. Like, we need a coffee table to fit in this space. There are detailed parameters. They like certain woods, certain colored woods. And then sometimes clients are cool with just letting me go creatively, but I'm always in conversation with them. So it's a huge collaboration process. And when you go to those lumber yards, we have 2 really great lumber yards in Denver, Paxton Hardwoods and Austin Hardwoods. And they will blow your mind when you go in there. Everything's raw, so you kind of aren't seeing what you're gonna get in the end product. But the more you work with this wood, you kind of know what the stain's going to do to it, or what the finish is going to do to it, and how you can manipulate it if you have the right tools to do that. So that's actually a really fun part of the process, is going to the lumber yard, pulling those really special pieces of highly grained wood and composing that on the ground to see what maybe the final product will look like. So that is one of my favorite parts of that process, but then really digging into the detail work of a finished piece, like how am I going to make these angles line up? You know, what tools am I going to need to actually get this thing to come out the way I see it in my head or in the drawings? The whole process, it's never boring at all. Unless you deliver a piece and the client doesn't like it. Luckily, that hasn't happened to me yet. I haven't approached that. But that also presents a problem that you have to solve. It's like, all right, how can I improve on this? And so every piece that you make, you're really trying to improve on your last piece. It's kind of like the saying, you're only as good as your last piece or the last job that you did. So you're constantly trying to improve on that. And whether it's your joinery skills improve or you're just learning a new technique that you can then apply to one of these pieces of furniture.
Okay.
That's the other part that fascinates me because I still have a lot to learn. I've been doing this for several years now, and I still feel like I'm a baby when it comes to, you know, putting these things together. I still have questions. I still have I second guess myself, but in the end, you really just have to have the confidence to move forward and get it done. Because a lot of times you're on a deadline and you don't have time to kind of sit with it for too long. So,
right.
Yeah.
I saw some converted beetle kill pallets, converted into sort of a bookshelf / TV stand in there. You got a couple of them sitting next to each other. Speaks to just that creativity. And my goodness, man, you can't tell that those were pallets that you reclaimed, joined, and made into something really beautiful and timeless. In terms of creation. So
yeah, I appreciate that. That was as we talked about earlier, it was kind of a painful process. So when you find pallets, there are some really nice woods in pallets, but to break those down, it took me several hours to break those down, get all the nails out. I then had to re-mill all that wood, but the grain is what sold it for me.
Okay.
Because that beetle kill pine has such a marbleized texture. And this particular wood was really high grade Canadian beetle kill pine. And so that is what made me go through with that project. And that project came out of necessity. I needed bookshelves. And so I found the wood and was able to manipulate it, into these things that I needed to use on a daily basis. So a lot of times it is, needing something is the mother of that invention.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, well, you don't really need to use this on a daily basis. Maybe it is just that sculptural form that looks cool and, would be a neat kind of decoration in your house as well.
Well, I know that some of the pieces speak to you and you just know what to do. Other things come out of necessity, clearly, right? What type of range do you have when we're out here and we're looking at our clients and we're saying, hey, what can you create? Is the sky the limit, like in terms of what you can do? We just talked about a bar top, a mantle, and a serving tray. Serving tray is going to be a surprise for my wife, so nobody tell. But, what can they expect in terms of your repertoire and what you can create for potential future clients?
That's a really good question. And a lot of times the space limits me a little bit because I am operating out of a one-car garage. I feel really lucky to have this space, which is very flexible for using for finishing. But I'm really sticking to literally things that I can pick up physically. Okay. I will go beyond, a 4 foot by 4 foot range if the project really suits me. But like what you just said, there are so many different projects that there's so many different problems to solve. And having those 3 different types of projects running through the workshop would be a thrill to have. Because I really don't like making things twice. I do make a lot of prototypes of things that I could potentially put into production. Okay. But they're always going to be tweaked and changed because not everybody's going to like that same form, you don't want to make like 20 of them. People want something very unique. So a lot of the designs that I have can be manipulated to create a one-off essentially. And so when you're talking about a mantle, tray, and what was your other project?
The bar top.
The bar top. 3 totally different projects, and they all present their own challenges that would be really fun to work with.
Awesome. Well, timber working is just like real estate. It's a series of problems that have to be solved.
Yep.
So I love that, man. And that's my favorite thing to do too. You know, it's like all the run of the mill stuff is cool, but I really thrive on, you know, the complex and the complicated and really being able to dig in and, you know, come out with a win, man.
Yeah, it's putting all those puzzle pieces together that you have no idea how they're going to go together when you first see a project.
Right.
But then the other part of that is the reveal to the client. That is always super fun. A lot of times I'll post on Instagram the process of it coming together. And I do like to ask permission for that because some people just want to see it the first day it gets delivered to them. And I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, those shows like Counting Cars, you know, when you watch these people make these amazing vehicles and they open that garage door up and that car rolls out and you see the reaction on people's faces. I mean, that's part of why I love doing this too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the draw to art too. I mean, when you're making art or making a print, you don't really see it until it's like at the end or like you're running a print through a press and you start to peel that paper back, and that's that aha moment where you're like, this is why I do this. I'm so like thrilled about like what's happening in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
So
right on, man. Well, those of you who can't see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway hat that Jeff is wearing, fellow Hoosiers unite, baby.
yeah.
Dude, super enlightening. They can find you at JP Timberworks on Instagram. Where else can they find you, and what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my website just got fired up, so that's jptimberworks.com.
Sweet.
And then my hashtag handle that you can find me on Instagram is hashtag JP Timberworks USA.
Okay.
There's another JP Timberworks in Australia, so I'm just trying to like draw a line there.
Okay.
Between two of us. He's doing really good work too, by the way. So, but yeah, you can find me there, follow me there. Feel free to just reach out via my Gmail, jptimberworks@gmail.com, which is
Beautiful.
on the website as well. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Dude, it was really enlightening to get to see some of these beautiful pieces of art, man. And looking forward to partnering with you in the future personally and hopefully sending some clients that need some beautiful custom furniture done. Anything else you think our viewers should know that we haven't covered today?
Watch this channel. It's amazing. I love it.
Right on. Denver digs. It's local timber workers. Jeff, the man, the myth, the legend, brother. Really appreciate it. Until next time.
Thank you so much, Corey. Really appreciate it.